Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the 911. And today I thought I would bring things down a little bit. I wanted to introduce you to the 911 really. And what I mean by introduce, you've seen it before of course. What I mean is I want to talk you through what I did to the car, why it looks like it does. Obviously it's not an original GT2RS. It is a homage, a replica, evolution, evocation, whatever you want to call it, fake, you know, call it what you want. It's not an original GT2RS, but I have painstakingly reconstructed one as close as to an original as you could probably get without buying an original for £300,000–500,000. I wanted to talk you through a little bit what has been done to it. When I started to go through some of the footage and some of the stuff that I've done over the years on the car, it took me about 5 years to do, and I started to remember that there was so much that I'd forgotten that had been done. When I was going through in my head, oh, I can talk about this, I can talk about this, and then I started to look at the old footage, and I was like, wow, I forgot about that, I forgot about this, you know. So there's so much has been done to it. I'm not sure I can cover it all in the video without it being 3 hours long, but there are a series of videos on the channel from back at the time when I built it, if you want to go back and watch them. There are varying degrees of quality, if you like, because this build started back in 2012, 2013, before I even made videos on YouTube. So the first videos are just still photographs. I wanted to do a better video now that it's all completed as well. Well, it'll never be complete, but it's pretty close to being completed. So I thought I would talk you through all of the things that have been done. So the reason why I decided to build this car, it didn't come to me immediately, but before I owned this 911, I had a 3.8 cab Carrera S 911. Very nice. I've done a lot of work to it, made it look very nice. But I went to a Porsche dealership near to where I used to live, and they had outside in the car park, I've got photographs still of this car, they had a 997 GT2RS in a sort of grey colour, if I remember correctly. I think it was grey, or it was a dark blue colour, very interesting colour. And I just sat there taking in the detail of this car. I think the photographs will kind of show you what I was looking at. I was amazed by the front wings, the flared arches, the giant wing on the back, the wheels, the center locks, the ceramic brakes, bumpers, how low the car was, how close the wheel arches were to the wheels. I just drank in all of those details, and I took those photographs, and then I started to look online at these cars, because I don't think I'd ever, at the time, this was, and don't forget, back in 2012, this was the current 911, the 991 hadn't been released yet, and I started to look them up online, these cars, because there's only 500 originals in the world, right? So I thought, well, I started to look it up online, started collecting all these photographs, and I thought, wow, wouldn't it be great to own one of these cars? Obviously, I looked at the prices. They were, at the time, they were probably under £200,000, but still way out of my price range. So a few weeks later, I go back to that dealership, and there's a 997 Turbo for sale, black, ceramics, manual gearbox. The interior and, well, the exterior, everything was about it was completely different to what you see now. Had the 5 studs, the wheels, 5 stud wheels, but it had the key things that I would require to build this car. You know, it had the manual gearbox, and it had the ceramic brakes already fitted, which would have been a massive cost if they hadn't already been fitted, and they would have had to been retrofit. So anyway, long story short there, I bought that car, and then that's when this build started. I started to collect parts, bumpers, carbon fibre, air inlets, the giant wing on the back. That came later on. I bought that actually in Los Angeles, in LA Dismantlers, had it shipped over. That's from a genuine GT2. I had a bonnet made. This bonnet's not an original. It's very hard to get hold of the originals. Porsche wouldn't sell me one actually. From fenders or wings, they are original carbon fibre flared wings. Wheels. I started to collect all of these parts over a period of years. I focused on a certain area of the car. In actual fact, the first thing I did was upgraded the power. I fitted a Klein Innovation exhaust system from manifolds. The manifolds were original, but the rest of the system was all Klein. 200 cell cats. I put in a ram air filter, and then I put in larger intercoolers to cope with the extra power, and then I had it tuned at DMS Automotive. Rolling road there was probably a little bit optimistic, said I had over 600 horsepower, 620 horsepower or something, but I think it's probably more realistically around 550 currently. Would be interesting actually to get it on a rolling road, but there is a power upgrade coming in the future, so we'll go into that as and when that happens. After the power increase, I did the interior. I did it all back to front really. I don't know why I think it's back to front, but I feel like I should have done the exterior first, but I didn't. I did the power increase. I explained why, because of the exhaust. And then I decided to do the interior, completely stripped the interior. Everything came out. Not immediately, but over a period of time, the whole interior came out. I've got still photographs of what it looked like when I took it out. I removed the Bose subwoofer on the back. I removed the back seats. I removed the seat belts. I removed all of the panels in the rear quarters there where the holes for the seatbelts were. I removed all of the rear carpets. I ordered new carpets from Porsche, which took 2 months because they have custom order those carpets. I fitted those in. At this point I still had the original seats. I had the 18-way comfort seats. Then eventually I got the carbon bucket seats. Those carbon bucket seats were a little tired when I got them. The leather, I mean, carbon was fine, obviously. I took those seats. So I took the seats and I sent them to a tailor, for want of a better word. I'm sure you'll have the right words in the comments. I sent them to him. He stripped off all the old leather and he did a custom design, as you see now, with the Alcantara at the top, the RS logo on there. I sent him the lower panels for the dash to be retrimmed in Alcantara. I sent him the door panels. He also retrimmed them, and they look like they came from the factory. Absolutely fantastic. I took out the PCM unit. I had the old silver PCM unit in there. Took that out. I did an upgrade on that. I did that myself. I had to put a new amplifier in the front. I had to rewire the whole system. Fitted the new PCM. You can see underneath the PCM, you've got the air conditioning unit. That was a big faff as well. We had to figure out how to code that. There was a group of us at the time doing it to upgrade to that new PCM. We figured out how to get the AC working, because that was one of the big problems with that unit. And then the unit underneath with the PASM button on and the sport button and all that stuff, that's a GT2RS button. They are now. This is as it is in the GT2RS. I mean to do this for ages, but to do this you have to take out all of the stuff like I did with the side panels and stuff like that, and I just could not be bothered. But now that I'm doing it for the center console, I thought I'd do it. The whole of the PCM and all of that center console area there was all redone by me to have the newer unit. Now back then in whatever it was, 2014, 2015, that was a big upgrade. I wouldn't recommend it now because it's out of date, but that was something more to do with the aesthetics, really, because no GT2RS had the silver PCM unit in there, but it did add the, you know, the Bluetooth and stuff that the other one didn't have. Had to fit the newest steering wheel and airbag. That was actually quite straightforward, didn't need any coding. My car, some cars do, but my car did not need anything. It had the triangular multi-function steering wheel in there when I bought it, which I hated. So I upgraded to the new one, had that retrimmed by another chap who didn't do a great job, if I'm honest. I wasn't very happy with it. I've never been happy with it. And as a result, I've actually just got a new wheel. But in one of the photographs, which I still have to this day, of the interior, it shows a black steering wheel with the yellow stripe at the top. Now, I tried to order one from Porsche, and they said they actually put in the order, and when it arrived, it was grey like this one. And I said, that's the wrong colour, it's the wrong one. And they said, that's a custom wheel, and that's for people who want a thicker wheel, and you have to custom order that one, and it was like £1,600. Now, at the time, I felt like that was too expensive. Now I wish I'd ordered it because I would have had that done. But I did recently purchase a black steering wheel that has already been retrimmed in Alcantara. Really, really pro job. And that was done by whoever I bought it from. It's brand new. I mean, the trim is brand new. The only thing it doesn't have is the yellow stripe, which I'm going to figure out at a later date. Now, the bodywork. First job I did was to do the rear end. I did that at Tech 9 in Merseyside. They did the job really beautifully. The paint was done by Road and Race, which is, if you take your Porsche to Stratstone Porsche, which is in Bolton and in Wilmslow and in Stockport, they will take, and you need paint, you leave it with them, they will take it to Road and Race. They don't paint it themselves. And that's who I took my car to. They did all the paint on this car. They did an absolutely perfect job. They've also painted the rear deck lid, which was actually black when I got it, but it needed repainting, and it adds a little bit of damage on it, which was repaired also. When I did the body conversions, all of the bodywork, like I did it in stages because it was so expensive. And over a period of a few, like 4 or 5 years, I decided that when I took off the bumper, everything underneath that was on the GT2RS would go underneath my car. I didn't want to have, an RS bumper wrapped around the original part underneath because, first of all, it wouldn't work really. The ducting for the intercoolers has a side exit on the turbo, and on the RS it comes out the rear. So I had to change the intercooler ducting. I put in all the brackets from the RS, so it's all like factory. Like if I took it to Porsche and they stripped the car down, they could get the manual from the system and they could follow it step by step, and it would be the same on this car. That's how accurate I wanted it to be. It's a lot more complicated, the front end, because there's a lot more going on underneath that bumper. You've got a different center radiator and it's at a different angle. It's 45 degrees facing down from the top. And it points into a grille which is in the top of the bumper, which sends air through the radiator and over the bonnet. The turbo doesn't have that. It's a completely different system in there. So I had to get all the ducting, I had to get that. And I actually got a CSR radiator. I got all the pipe work, everything underneath there is identical to the real thing. But everything under that front bumper is as it comes from the factory on a GT2RS. Now, one of the questions I get asked a lot is, does it still have the four-wheel drive system or the all-wheel drive system, or did I make it rear-wheel drive like the RS? The answer to that is no. I did not convert it to rear-wheel drive. I decided to leave it. I don't think it adds anything to the car. I think it's taking something away from the car. I know it's not. It means it drives differently to the original car, but for safety, for traction in cold weather, for all of the reasons why the all-wheel drive system is better than a rear-wheel drive system, in my opinion, I decided to leave that in place. So yeah, it still has all-wheel drive, but for me, I'm quite happy with that. Well, I'm trying to remember all the things that were done. Like I said, when I was looking at the B-roll, I was seeing things. I was going, oh yeah, I forgot that I did that. I even went down as far as the stickers. When you open the driver's door, you have those 2 stickers there that tell you how much air to put in your tyres. And you've got another one there that has the VIN number of your car on there. I even had those reproduced. The other stick has a little picture or a little graphic of the RS on it. I had all of that done. What I'm going to do actually, I'm going to put some links in the description of this video to the companies that some of the companies that I used, if I can remember and find links for them, because I think they deserve a mention because they did such an outstanding job. Yeah, so everything on the car is effectively different. I've got some photographs when I collected it from the Porsche dealership, with actually next to the car that I had at the time when I bought the turbo. Like, as you can see, the interior exterior shots, it's a completely different car now almost. All right, it's getting kind of busy here now. Quite a few trucks coming by. So I think I'm gonna head off, and I'm gonna round up this video, but I'm gonna do it from inside the car because I'm getting a few funny looks from people. And most people are actually quite cool, and some have even stopped and said, what a lovely car. But then some other people have been giving me some hand gestures, which I'm gonna put down to positive. Absolutely stunning day in the UK. We won't be getting many more of these now before the end of the year, I don't think. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the look at this car. It's a car that I'll never sell as long as I'm young enough and my body's able enough to take the hard ride. There's probably a ton of things that I've forgotten to mention. In actual fact, just mentioning the ride just now just reminds me that I changed all of the suspension. The original suspension, the Porsche suspension, although it's very good, you know, is a turbo suspension. I wanted something more representative of an RS, so I put Olin suspension in there, and it was very, very firm. And also there was an issue with it. There was a big recall on it. I couldn't drive the car for months. I eventually removed that, and I fitted the tractive coilovers, the touring kit, excellent semi-active suspension, absolutely fantastic car, fantastic suspension. That's really transformed how the car is. It compared to the Olins, which was really, really hard. When you first drive it with a tractive, you think that it's too soft. But when you go around the corner, it's like it's on rails. And you realize it's really, really, how really good it is. So, yeah, suspension, anti-roll bars were upgraded, KW anti-roll bars. Like I said, no area really has been untouched by modifications. Yeah, there's a ton of things that, like I said, I'm sure I've forgotten. Maybe I'll put a montage at the end of the video of video footage of the work that was done. All of the bodywork was done by Tech9 in Merseyside. The front fenders fitted, bonnet, all of that front end I mentioned with the radiators and stuff like that was all done at Tech9, and then it was sent to Road and Race in Manchester for the paint. And they did an absolutely outstanding job. After the paint was done, and I left it for 3 or 4 months in my garage, and then I took it to Reap, and they did a full detail on the car, and then they put PPF on the front end of the car. You ever want to know how long it lasts and how good it is? That this car was fitted with that PPF in 2017. Now 2024 as I make this video, and that PPF is still on there, and the front end of this car looks like it just came from the paint shop in terms of protection of the car. There's not a single blemish or, you know, stone chip on the front of this car. It's done probably, let's think, it's probably done 4,000 miles in that time, and it's absolutely, you know, flawless. Like I said, if I've forgotten something, which I'm sure I have, I'll put some maybe a montage at the end of this video, so I don't want to forget anything, because it's so detailed, and like I said, I did it over so many years that I'm bound to have forgotten something. I should have written a list really of all the things that were done. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. I've got more upgrades to come. As I said, I've got new radiators, new condensers, I've got a new steering wheel. I've got an upgrade for the stereo to add Apple CarPlay, which I've had for about 2 years actually. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please be sure to like if you made it to the end, and you deserve 10 points. And let me know what you think of the car. And yeah, we'll talk soon. All right, guys. Bye-bye. So what we're going with is lightened flywheel. So that's the lightened flywheel. Is that 5.7 kilos? Yeah. And that's the dual mass flywheel. Whoa, 13.5 kilos. And that's the clutch. All right, so what have we got? There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. It says Klein Innovation. I've arrived at the meet, and the chap's new Spider RS is here. He just parked it next to my car so I can do a little bit of a comparison. It's got 69 miles on it,